Hello everyone, I am Dr. Kapil, welcoming you all at Sriram's IAS. As we have been doing, covering the current affairs news or whatever important news has been in our surrounding taking place, we are explaining that news through the lens of geography optional, and in that way, if we are able to help our prelims preparation or say GS preparation also, that's a bonus. Now today the topic is Caspian Sea shrinkage, and we are going to look at it from a very geography optional point of view. Now you need to understand that there are multiple seas all around the earth surface where you will find that they are endoric. That means they are not connected to any sea as such. Caspian Sea, Aral Sea, these are certain examples of certain endoric lakes. Probably they are lakes, they are so big and they are very saline, that is why they are also called as seas. That's the difference only. Now, if you look at the Caspian Sea, how it is located, it is actually located between many countries, and that is why it becomes very geopolitically important. This is the Caspian Sea. Here you see there's a river called as Volga is coming. This is the part of Russia. This is Azerbaijan. Here Iran, Turkmenistan and Kazakhstan. And this Caspian Sea over a period of time has been shrinking. This shrinkage is not very rapid as of now, but yes, it is there. For example, the Aral Sea shrinkage, it is very rapid. However, both shrinkages have certain commonalities and also certain differences. So first we'll look at the general setting of this. It is world's largest enclosed inland water body. It is having a border with Russia, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Iran, Azerbaijan, what we just saw on the map. This is endoric basin. That means it has no outlet, fed by Volga, Ural and Kura river. So there are multiple rivers. Volga is the biggest there. So it is endoric basin. It is not connected to any sea or say ocean per se. Now, you will ask me, sir, if this river or this lake is endoric and the rivers are draining water into it, why this lake is not expanding? Probably it is, yes, shrinking. Why is it happening? Because the rivers are giving lot of water to that particular basin. So why it is shrinking? The thing is, there's lot of evaporational loss. Evaporation is the main outlet, highly sensitive to inflow evaporation balance. Now let me tell you, if this Caspian Sea, probably you see here, now this Caspian Sea, it will lose lot of water through the process of evaporation. Sun will suck lot of water from that lake, one. And also on the way, there have been lot of projects which are diverging lot of waters from these rivers. So these rivers, they actually used to contribute lot of water into these basins, but nowadays they are not. Now, causes of shrinkage, that is multifactorial explanation I will try to have here. One is the climate change. Temperature is rising, less snow, increased evaporation. Now, I'm not saying climate change and global warming, they are same. But yes, they are used interchangeably. And probably global warming is also causing climate change this time. However, climate change can also, have global cooling as well. But right now, the global warming is the climate change probably. Now, because of the global warming, the temperature is increasing, and increased temperature will lead to increased evaporation also. So the evaporation rate, the amount of water which was evaporated is also higher these days. And at the same time, if the temperature is very high, obviously you will have less snows. Suppose the rivers, suppose Volga, Ural, all these rivers coming from high altitude or say latitudes, and there the glacier is not getting recharged very quickly, or the snowfall is not that much, so obviously they will have also lesser water. Now, reduce inflows also. Why? Because agriculture, industrial diversion from Volga basin. The Volga has the biggest, this is the biggest river debouching into the Caspian Sea, but the problem is the water has been diverged, and water diversion, dams, projects, they all are in news actually these days, because yes, the escalations happening between India and Pakistan, and India is trying to stop the water in the Indus basin. So yes, these are all going to be in news. So just keep connecting all these dots. Hydrological imbalance, here endoric nature makes it also sensitive because it is endoric, not connected to any sea. So even if there's a small change, say in the water draining into the sea, or enhanced evaporation, or say any diversion of the river per se, it is contributing in the shrinkage of that Caspian Sea, because Caspian Sea not connected to the sea, it has only these resources, it has only these sources of water, and if they are in problem, obviously Caspian Sea will also be very sensitively decreased here, or say in terms of area. And anthropogenic stress, dams, irrigation and oil exploitation, they are all causing the water outlet, or say water going out of these basins, or say Caspian Sea per se. So that is why it is shrinking. Second is, it has certain environmental geography perspective as well. What is that? What if it shrinks? What will happen? Tell me, if Caspian Sea levels endangered, tell me, sorry, Caspian Sea is shrinkage, it is shrinking, tell me there is a bird, or there is actually an organism called a seal, it will be reduced. Loss of endemic species, many types of fishes, they will also be gone because the water level is coming down. That means the habitat is shrinking. And for any biodiversity loss, the biggest cause is your habitat destruction. And this is what is happening. The disappearing wetlands threaten migratory birds. Caspian Sea, in all its margins, it is like a very productive wetland. Wetland ka matlab, it is also not that deeper, also not that dry. It might remain, somewhere in the middle. बहुत ज़्यादा पानी भी नहीं, बहुत ज़्यादा सूखा भी नहीं है. Now these areas become hotspot for birds because shallow water, birds are able to catch their prey very easily. So here the bird population is very great. But what if the Caspian Sea witnesses a shrinkage or say downfall? Don't you think all these wetlands are also endangered? तो सारी चिड़िया कहाँ चली जाएंगी? सारी चिड़िया भाग जाएंगी, or say they will not have that home. So obviously their habitat is also destructed. Formation of saline deserts from exposed seabeds. Now tell me, the seabed, don't you think it is it going to be very productive? Absolutely not, because it is saline, and once it is exposed, it is nothing but a desert. Why? Because there is no vegetation per se, कुछ नहीं है वहां पे, it is very very dry and saline. So yes, it will cause the enhancement in the desertification, and toxic dust storms affect health and ecology. And tell me, once it is converted into a desert, there the soil, the sand on that seabed, it will become very loose because it is dry now, it is a desert now. And don't you think with the wind, all these dust and all these dust storms, they will create a lot of air pollutant, causing the health of the people there. Economic and societal impact. Fishing and navigation industries will be disrupted. Obviously, lesser water, lesser fishes. So fishing and also the navigation, because navigation, wherever the water goes, the navigation is possible. But what if the water is not there? Navigation will also not be possible. So yes, one big thing. Ports, rakes and coastal infrastructure now stranded. Now tell me, suppose this is the Caspian Sea, right? Caspian Sea. And now you have made your port here. Okay, this is your port, suppose. But tell me, from this level of Caspian Sea, now the Caspian Sea has reached to this level. Tell me, the ships which used to reach till this port very easily, tell me now these ships will be stranded here or not? और ये पोर्ट किसी काम का नहीं रह जाएगा, नेविगेशन के लिए कुछ नहीं रह जाएगा. अब यहाँ पे आके पहिया थोड़े लग जाएगा उसमें कि वो चढ़ जाएगी ऊपर. Obviously these ports, these infrastructure, these investments will be actually a loss, big loss. Unemployment in fishing communities, it is directly related to this point. Obviously if the habitat is gone, fishes नहीं मिलेंगी, biodiversity is lesser, तो fish, जो fishermen हैं, जो भी वहाँ पे industries हैं, they will also be impacted. Dust storms carry toxic metals impacting the public health. This is what I explained in the last slide. Now the geopolitical relevance of this. Now here, changing shorelines affect maritime boundaries. Now this is something, just a line, but I'll explain this. Understand. Now tell me, if it is a sea, if it is a water body. Now for water body and the borders in the aquatic bodies, they have different rules. For example, UNCLOS, for example, they have their own, type of agreement. It is on border. Probably what happens in the water bodies, the water is divided generally on the basis of Thalberg principle, the deepest point here. So you will have this line. So one belongs to this, the other belongs to the other country. It's not like कि ऊपर से हम गए और यहाँ का middle point से लेंगे. नहीं, it is not. This is the Thalberg principle. तो इस पे जाएंगे. But this applies only on the aquatic bodies. Now tell me if it starts shrinking. Tell me the new land will be exposed, the new sea floor will be exposed, and that is not sea anymore, that is land. And for land, don't you think there will be a lot of claims? Different countries would be saying, no, this is my land, this is my land, this is my land, this is my land. So who is going to decide whose land that is? Now tell me, don't you think it will lead to a lot of conflicts? It will lead to a lot of probably say wars, probably say, tensions there. Land boundary disagreements will be there. So yes, because water is now changing into land. Water body के लिए there's a different law. Land के लिए तो बस ठीक है. अभी कुछ decide नहीं हुआ तो चलो ठीक है लड़ लेते हैं. Might is right, जो जीत जाएगा उसका है. ऐसा कुछ. Resource sharing conflicts over oil and gas reserves. Obviously, if oil and gas reserves are also exposed, they are gone, not gone, new thing is found. Tell me, suppose on the land कुछ नया मिल गया. So don't you think dispute will be enhanced? Poor transboundary water governance. Absolutely. The water governance, suppose UNCLOS, I was talking about UNCLOS. And for Caspian Sea, they have their own type of multinational agreement. All those 4, 5 countries, 6 countries, they have their own type of agreement there. But what if the water body does not remain a water body? The water body is receding. So don't you think whatever the new area is, अब उसके लिए governance की क्या बात होगी? और से जो increased conflicts होंगे, उस पे जो water governance जो जैसे पहले था, उस पे भी problems आ जाएंगी. Because conflicts have increased, interests have changed. तो ये सारी चीजें भी खराब हो सकती हैं. Strategic energy corridor implications. Now here the thing is, probably lot of countries, they are trying to help these nations. For example, China says कि हम अपना Belt and Road Initiative लाएंगे, हम आपके लिए वो सारी चीजें करेंगे, infrastructure बनाएंगे, new fields खोजेंगे. But don't you think this is all happening because of the strategic location of the Caspian Sea? So yes, this will become very problematic for them. Now, if you look at the comparative analysis of this Aral Sea and Caspian Sea, you will find this. Both are endorheic, as I told you earlier. Now, your job is find out Aral Sea के आसपास which countries are there. किन countries से इसका border touch होता है Aral Sea से. ठीक है? This is your homework. So please do it. Both are endorheic, shrinking due to human impact. Obviously, दोनों में human impact है. Human impact दोनों में है. Aral Sea is actually great. It is majorly because of the human impact only, human interventions. Caspian में it is more about climate plus diversion, climate change or say global warming, evaporation and also the diversion of water. But in the Aral Sea it is more of river diversion. That is, it is more of anthropogenic factors there. Caspian में it is gradual and geopolitical in nature. Gradual है and geopolitical in nature. It is not happening very quickly, but Aral में it is very rapid and ecological collapse because it is very rapid, and that is why the ecology of the place is also getting hampered. It is also becoming very problematic there, biodiversity point of view. And in this, while you are writing any answer, say in the case study, always highlight unsustainable water use in closed basins, whatever the basins are. वहाँ पे किस तरीके से dams create हो रहे हैं, projects के लिए चाहिए, और say agriculture, irrigation or anything, you need to highlight that thing. Suppose you are writing a comparative study or say case study. Now, in the conclusion, I would say, Caspian Sea is a prime case for climate plus human impact interplay. So what if in the examination you get a question कि भाई साहब बताइए how the climate is impacting or how the climate and human impact interplay or they become so dynamic that they can create problems such as this. Don't you think it can be a good example there? You can highlight the issue of sustainable water and ecosystem management. If you need ecosystem management, say aquatic ecosystem management to be specific, don't you think you need good water governance? तभी हो पाएगा manage, otherwise सब लड़ते रह जाएंगे. Now, here it can also be used in topics such as environmental geography, geopolitics and wetlands में भी तीन जगह इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. The same case study, this is what I keep telling my students, that you just prepare a limited number of case studies in examples and data, and very smartly you can use all those data case studies examples in multiple ways, not only in one unit but also in different papers, not only in optional but also in GS, not only in GS but also in your essays. So very smartly you will be able to do that once you learn it. Now here, this is a model example for anthropogenic stress in endorheic basin. So yes, this is another example. So this is how you should move forward. This is how you should talk about these things in your answer. Probably not directly, it cannot be asked, probably, but in prelims examination, yes, it can be a direct question, but also in mains examination or say in answer writing, all these insights will work very efficiently, very well. It will repay you in very good with very good marks. Now, thank you so much for hearing me out, and this is where you can connect with me, be it on my Telegram channel or say be it on my X handle. So thank you very much. This is where you can connect with me. Thank you. Bye.